Rhetoric, the everyday tool toward your success. Written by Elijah Pestana, February 9, 2021. Hey you! Exclaimed by a radio person. Can't find the right words to say in your dissertation, or just having trouble delivering your speech debate. Maybe you want to convince someone in joining your cult. You then hear cricket sounds leading into dead silence. Okay, maybe not the last part, but I bet you always found it hard to get your point across in certain conversations. Well then, have I got the gizmo for you! Rhetoric is the age-old tool used by communicators to perfectly persuade his or her audience. Great scholars, politicians, and media moguls use rhetoric to not only get their point across, but to make you dying to hear more of it. The mood changes as you hear music from Zorba the Greek being played. Let me take you to the cradle of civilization, Greece, the land of gyros and the birthplace of rhetoric. It was developed by Greek philosopher and unknown anti-feminist Aristotle. So it's naturally with guys and dolls, spoken by Aristotle with a mobster voice, that one is superior and the other is inferior, like lasagna eaten in Olive Garden instead of being done by a made man. I thought you were Greek, said the spokesperson. Well, imitation is the best form of way of an individual to be persuaded. Anyways, the speaker cuts him off. Within his theory, Aristotle explains that one uses rhetoric to present a particular case through persuasion. He uses them into three parts. Speaker begins to draw a triangle. Pathos, appealing to emotion. Logos, the appeal of logic. And ethos, the appeal of morality. Then there's a loud ding, and the speaker is instantly teleported back to the radio station. Now, rhetoric comes in all shapes and sizes, besides that rhetorical triangle. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The speaker faintly whispers, anybody can do it. You're probably already used to it, as he returns to his normal voice. When you're asked for an extension on your essay to your professor on all grounds that your dog ate your homework, image of a dog walking and ignoring a piece of written paper. Although it's not true, you're appealing to the emotional response of your professor to throw you a bone by extending your deadline. Dun-dun-dun. That sounds like pathos to me. Now, the setting changes to a debate stage with two opponents and the speaker and the moderator seat. Now, rhetoric is not just helpful for, gives quote signals, the persuader in communicating, but it can be used by the receiver to understand what's going on in the discussion.
Mr. Red, in the microphone, what is your stance on puppy control?
Dogs, yelled by Mr. Red, are a man's best friend, and if you take away the dogs, who is going to protect us in an armed robbery? Cats? Now hold on just a second, Mrs. Blue responds. No one is saying to take away your friend. We're just trying to solve the larger issue of rising dog poops in our local communities. Not dealing with this now can lead to dramatic consequences for future dog owners and public hygiene. Now, the speaker returns, imagine replacing puppies with real issues, says the speaker, such as gun control or public safety. How can you decide which one's right? By seeing what rhetorical appeals are within the communicator's argument. Now, you do this in everyday life, like what coffee to get from Starbucks, or is taking the subway lowering your carbon footprint? Scene then returns to the studio. Rhetoric helps the average Joe communicate effectively and develop better decision-making habits. This tool helps you understand the ever-growing globalized world that you live in by both knowing your audience and seeing discussions in a different light. So, want to hear more about this life-changing tool? Speaker asked the viewer. Then call 1-800-RHETORIC or visit www.rhetoric.byu.edu. The following is a transcript of an educational program either done by podcast or video production. This was inspired by a writing assignment from English professor Vernon Dixon, where he promoted each student to use creative means to explain the individual definition of rhetoric. Elijah Pestana is a broadcast media student at Florida International University. He decided to incorporate his broadcast writing and explaining rhetoric in an educational while entertaining manner. The production means is to create a radio personality selling rhetoric as a life-changing tool, portraying a television advertisement. Then we are explained by the histories of rhetoric and the benefits of both the communicator and receiver with everyday life. The advertisement then ends with the speaker giving a fake phone number but promoting the informational website teaching rhetoric, Silva Rhetoric, the Forest of Rhetoric, byu.edu, to the viewer. Presentation and script written and produced by Elijah Pestana and is a work in progress.